Here's the truth about getting online clients in an ethical way in 2025. And for some context, I have signed up well over 4,000 clients between my brick and mortar gym I used to own, my online fitness business that I used to own, and my business consulting company. Let me be the first to tell you, there are so many ways to get clients that you have to pretty much sell your soul to the algorithm gods, use aggressive tactics that just simply burn you out and keep you strapped to a phone or laptop or social media 12 plus hours a day. And I have lived on both extremes, borderline using like hyper aggressive tactics that burned me out because I thought that's what I had to do. In the last couple of years, we have gone all in on more inbound marketing, more attraction-based marketing. In the last promotion, I did 0 DMs, 0 outbound for it. It was our second biggest month in company history in terms of revenue. And it was 100% inbound. And so I want to give you some of the biggest lessons that I've learned and the biggest truths and epiphanies, if you will, that have helped me in hopes that it's going to help you. And so dating back, right? And I'm sure if you've been in business more than a couple years, especially if you were in business pre-COVID and went through the whole COVID era, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Let's go back 13 years to when I first started my business. This is how I started it. If you've been in business for a while, you'll get a laugh on this. Groupon. I was a personal trainer in a big box gym and I started running boot camps. I was trying to grow my boot camps and I was like, let me use this Groupon, and they were like the big one, and then Living Social came. Do you remember what I'm talking about? I think they're still a thing, right? I was able to get a lot of clients from Groupon, and then through referrals and word of mouth. I hit a certain point to where we had about 50 to 60 members, and I was like, cool, I'm kind of capped out right here and I got to figure out how to grow. And so I started to learn then how to run Facebook ads. Facebook ads locally helped me get to the next level. I started to learn how to do content marketing, networking, and speaking events. It eventually grew us to a base membership of around 300 members. When I transitioned online, a lot of the principles did. And so going online, I started to do more Facebook Lives. I started to do more what I call content campaigns. Instead of marketing campaigns that I was doing in brick and mortar, I would string together content. This is a big thing that I teach now. I call them conversion content campaigns, which I'll explain more in a moment. It worked really well. We started to get a lot of people. I started to go on podcasts, and I was able to grow online fitness business to over 100 members. In COVID, it was relatively easy for most people. In fact, if you were a brick and mortar, it was probably pretty easy to get clients because you had to go online and everybody was consuming stuff online. They couldn't go in person in most states and countries. But now, look at where we're in now, like 5 years post-COVID. In the last couple of years, there's been a big downturn and when I say downturn, let's actually look at what this is. It's been harder to get clients in most people's opinion. Most people say it's harder to get clients than it was back in 2020. And the reason is a couple things. Firstly, information is a commodity. Like there's so much information, and with COVID happening and with AI and the advancement in technologies and social medias and all of this stuff, it's just really amplified the amount of information that we are able to both distribute as business owners and as consumers to consume. It's almost sickening, in my opinion, how easy it is for us to get access to information. Gone are the days when you can just post how to lose 10 pounds. That's a dime a dozen. You could find that anywhere. It doesn't necessarily separate you. It doesn't necessarily appeal to people the same way as it used to because it's commoditized. It works the same way for anything that was once not commoditized and now has been commoditized. People have to cut their prices. They have to discount. And it's such a bullshit way to grow a business, in my opinion. Most people just don't know. We're going to go into some of the things that I felt have helped in terms of getting more inbound traffic and helping my business and the coaches that I've helped. Now 232 coaches that we've helped in the last couple of years. This is why a lot of people that are doing reels, they're posting content every day, they're doing all these DMs, they're trying to run ads. It's getting harder and harder to acquire clients. It's getting more expensive, especially if you're paying for advertisement. And organic content is just becoming less and less effective. And so there's going to be 3 main things that I want to go over today that have helped me. The first one's a bit more ethereal, but stick with me because it's vitally important. The second one's going to be more strategy that's really helped me. And then the third one is going to be more tactical, like execution, like the day-to-day things that you should do. And so let's go into the first one, the more ethereal. So the brand that I have and the brand that I believe wholeheartedly in is called In Demand, the In Demand Coach. And why In Demand is because for me, I went my whole life just wanting to be seen for who I really am. And I know it sounds like whatever, like cry me a river, but I just truly, I wanted to be seen, right? I had a rough childhood, gang violence, was thrown off a bridge and left for dead at one point, and became a firefighter. I wanted to be that hero. I ended up getting myself onto American Ninja Warrior because I truly wanted to be seen. A lot of people that come into my world, while that might not be their main goal, it's like I want to make money, I want to sign clients, I want to build a profitable business that I can help people. Deep down, they want to become respected in their niche. They want to become that go-to person within their sub-niche. I look at being in demand as a way of being. It's a way of doing business. It's not just a fancy name. Because if you are truly sought after, you don't have to be in demand to millions of people. I think this is the illusion a lot of people get sold into, maybe because they want to be popular on the internet because it validates their ego or whatever. And so they chase the likes, they chase the followers. That's not what I'm talking about with being in demand. You can be in demand to like 300 people and have a thriving business. There's a concept that was thought about by a guy named Kevin Kelly who wrote an article called 1,000 True Fans. The concept of this is that if an artist, a musician, if they had 1,000 true fans, they would never have to worry. They would never have to struggle with like growing a career out of their passions, because they would always have people that would buy their stuff. 1,000 raving true fans. And in our world today, especially if you're selling a medium or high ticket coaching or service based offer, you don't even need 1,000 true fans. If your business had 500 people, could you even capacitate that right now? I'm talking diehard, true, raving fans. You'd probably need to grow as a leader. You'd probably need better systems, more skill sets, delegation, and hiring people, right? Being in demand. And how do we show up and be in demand? Well, the first thing we have to do is look at the identity. Are we still having an identity rooted in that employee mindset or rooted in, I don't know if I can actually build this business? Where are our beliefs? What are the perpetual thoughts that we are thinking? Is this a good thought exercise to do? If you're currently believing that those are the thoughts, right, and you get anxiety around money, you get butthurt if a client cancels on you, or whatever it may be, you currently don't have the capacity to be in demand. So you have to change who you are being if you want to have the results. We've all heard this before, right? Be, do, and then have. It's not do, have, be. It's be, do, have. What are those beliefs that you have? Like, I used to believe getting clients was hard, and guess what? Getting clients was hard. But then I made it really simple for myself. I was like, what would it have to look like if getting clients was easy for me? To make getting clients easy, I would have to have skill sets in making an offer. It's like if I went to my kids right now and I was like, hey, my kids are 5.5 and 8. If I was like, you guys want some chocolate? They'd maybe skeptically look at me and be like, yeah. What do I have to do, Dad? I'd be like, nothing, here's some chocolate, right? And so if you know how to make a no-brainer offer to your people, it's really, really simple to get clients. If you have the skill sets to communicate your message and write good copy or speak in a way that is compelling to people, that gets people to be like, oh, I get it, you get me. If you know how to say the right words in the right way to the right people, getting clients is easy. So really looking at what skills do you have to develop, what character traits do you need to make the beliefs where you can believe that getting clients is easy. You can have the supporting and empowering beliefs to really step into who you want to be. And then the last piece of being is energetically. There's a quote by one of the top life coaches in the world. Her name is Brooke Castillo. And she says, what is the core emotion that is fueling your work? If you're always being fueled by anxiety or stress or overwhelm, you're not going to grow. Take it from me. I went through years of barely being able to pay myself, living in stress, living in survival, and it was really hard to grow. It was like I was fighting an uphill battle. As soon as I was able, and I'm not perfect at this, but as I've regulated my nervous system, as I've been able to show up more powerfully and confident in my business and take bold, decisive actions, I'm able to grow at a much faster pace with much more ease. It's like I'm taking the shackles off of my ankles and I'm able to move more freely in flow. Are you in stress, in anxiety, or are you in a place of constant courage and acceptance? You don't have to be living in enlightenment or any of that. I mean, that's cool to strive towards, but just in a place to where you're like not being weighted down by stress and anxiety 24/7, right? So where are you at with that? Do the work on yourself. Shift your own beliefs. Use some of the things I just gave you around making it to where it's, what would it look like if it was actually going to be easy for you, so you can actually start to believe these things. And do the work on, like, regulate your damn nervous system. Get off your phone, stop going for cheap dopamine hits, and do some breath work. Walk outside, do some shit, and stop coping and going on social media, drinking, or whatever you do to get your dopamine hits. Actually feel your feelings. A true modern day warrior isn't afraid to feel their feelings. They're okay with sitting in it, tracing back the thoughts, tracing back the beliefs, and actually stepping in and becoming. Becoming in demand is the first one. The second thing is now going to be building your in-demand business. And this is going to be more the strategy. So this is going to be the projects that you have to build. And so how I've done it and how I teach people how to do it, I have a full roadmap called the In-Demand Coach Roadmap. It outlines every major project that I have implemented to grow my business to a place that I once dreamed. We'll have days that we do $20,000 in a day, which I used to make as my yearly salary as a firefighter. We just crossed over $103,000 in cash within 2 weeks. And so sometimes I still have to pinch myself and be like, damn, like, this is reality. And so some of the projects that I have done is, number one is your messaging. I call it in my world magic messaging makeovers. This is where we want to make over your existing messaging. You want to just look at what are the words that are going to tap into the subconscious mind of my ideal client. What are the symptoms? What are the pain points? Moment by moment problems that people are experiencing in real time. What do they want? And how can you make yourself unique? How can you share your big ideas, right, in a way that stands you apart? How can you give contrast within your messaging? This is called magic messaging. The brands that can do this the best, the coaches that can do this the best, are going to stand out. Their content's going to work better. I don't give a shit how many times you post, how many reels you post, how much you spend on ads. I don't give a shit what you do. If your messaging is not dialed in fact, I've gone to brands that are doing 8-9 figures in revenue. I go into their YouTube channels, I go into their media buying, and I help them with their messaging. They're able to increase the amount of sales they make from shit that's already working. So imagine like that. So it's like, if you're a smaller business, it's important for you. Another project is what I call a strategic content ecosystem. It's making sure that you aren't just posting and praying and like, I hope it works today, man. Like, no. It's like, you want to build the projects, right? You want to have an ecosystem that you're bringing people in. Top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, right? You want to make sure that you have your Facebook or Instagram, whatever it is, dialed in. You want to make sure that you are sharing your stuff via email, right? You want to have a long form platform. Some of my clients use their Facebook group for that. Some of my clients use a YouTube channel. And this is a strategy that I show people how to set up, but it's so important for you to have a strategic content ecosystem. And the third major project is going to be what I call a conversion system. Now, again, I alluded to at the beginning, you can use aggressive tactics. You could sell your soul to the social media gods. I choose to have more of a value-versed approach to where I show people how to run what I call conversion content campaigns. We're sequencing a few different posts that have a good hook, a good story, and a good call to action. And we're driving people to a masterclass, to a workshop, to some kind of long-form content that helps do the pre-selling for them. So we're giving value up front. We're shifting people's beliefs. We're selling people on your story, because your story, your authentic story, is your superpower. We're getting people to believe what you need them to believe, helping them think the way you need them to think to become a client. And this is a really effective approach that we use. So these are some of the major projects that I've installed in my business. I help other people install, and it significantly helps. And then, of course, to be in demand, you're going to need some help, whether it's a ninja rockstar VA, whether it's an editor, you're going to assistant coach. And so really having your kind of scale and freedom blueprints, right? It's a fancy way of saying you understand how to create SOPs and how to hire, train, and manage, even if it's a small team. Like me, I'm running my entire business. Our intention, and I'll let you know at the end of the year if we hit it, is to hit $2 million in cash this year. I'll let you know at the end of the year if I hit it, but we look like we're on pace right now with just me and a VA. and a part-time video editor that helps with some of the video editing. That's my whole team. You don't need a big team, but you do need to know how to properly create SOPs, to delegate, to offload things so you're not the one doing all the work. And there's going to be a mix of other projects, right? But those are some of the core projects that helped to really build a in-demand coaching business. And then the third piece here is going to be the execution layer. This is you living in demand. How do you live in demand? First, you want to have a daily rhythm and you want to understand how you work in time blocks. For me, I like to break up my day into 4 different chunks. I have a coaching block where I'm going to show up and coach. I have a creation block where I'm either going to create content for my marketing or I'm going to create content for my clients. Then I have a connection block where I might reach out to a community that give value. I might hop in my DMs and connect with some of my warm or hot leads and continue to build and nurture that relationship. I might go to an event that's here locally in Tampa, St. Pete area, but I have some kind of connection block on most days. And then I have a cultivate block. This might be where I'm working a little bit deeper in a project. Maybe I am refining our curriculum or our roadmap, or I'm creating a video sales letter. I'm cultivating something for the long term. And so for me, I can't stay like regimented. I don't, if I went to a doctor, they'd probably call me some kind of neurodivergent. I can't just stick to these structures like you see a lot of these gurus spout out. I like to have structure, but I like to have flexibility within the structure. Otherwise, it feels like a self-imposed prison to me. And so having that structure that works for you, having these blocks so you can have your daily rhythm that you can execute so that you're not just maintaining your business, but you're having that consistent growth. I do this in about 3, maybe 4 hours a day, depending on the day. And then you want to be able to have execution of when you're going to run campaigns. I recommend that most of my clients run at least one conversion content campaign every single month. This is how we keep leads coming in every day, right? Rachel, one of my clients in the weight loss space, has 2,870 something people on her Facebook profile. She ran a campaign, got 197 inbound leads, signed up 13 people into her challenge. She still has leads to talk to right now. This was a month ago. So she's about to run another campaign and she's already building off of a previous campaign. She's about to have 200-300 leads and she's going to be able to easily get clients. You want to have that rotation of when you're going to run these campaigns. You want to have your daily content sequence. I teach people how to structure it out, but you want to know what's that content cadence that you have. Waitlist. If you want to become in demand, like right now we have a wait list of currently 14 or 15 people that are on our wait list, and it's continuing to go up day by day at this point because we're getting ready to open our doors. But think about it. Like my client Patty, she runs a faith-based weight loss program. She had 30 women on her wait list, and she was able to sign up. She wanted 10 people, and I ended up letting 11 in. Sometimes the clients are like chips. Once you pop one, you can't stop. So you hit capacity and you're like, boom. It's really good to have a wait list because that's a true in-demand coach. The perception out there is like, they must be good because they have a wait list. You should be good if you're like, otherwise you're never going to be in demand if you don't know how to help people and get results. Having that wait list to where once a month we open up the doors to our program, we open up the wait list, we go to the wait list first. If people on the wait list aren't ready, we'll then publicly promote to our email list and to our social media audience. This is the true doing part, staying consistent, doing these things. This is just what's been on my mind. If you want to get clients in an ethical way and make it easy to grow, you have to be the in-demand leader that your audience needs. You have to be the thought leader that your audience needs. In order to do that, you have to truly have the essence, the beliefs. Like I believe getting clients is easy, and guess what? It's so easy for me to get clients. Like I've never have a problem getting clients. And I say this not arrogantly. I hope you could feel that energy. I say this more so because I want you, if you don't believe that right now, to borrow my belief. That's all I'm trying to do here. Inspire you to borrow it. Empower you to borrow it. And if you're like, how do I make it easy? Hire me. No, I'm just kidding. For real, learn the skills. Learn how to make a no-brainer offer to people. Learn how to communicate your message in a way that truly connects, resonates, shifts beliefs, converts people, and it starts to become a lot easier. What beliefs do you need to be that in-demand coach for yourself? How do you need to feel energetically? Do the work on your nervous system to regulate yourself. Build in demand. Build out the projects. I gave you some of the core ones that I've done. I'm here to help you if you want to go deeper in this. There's a full video outlining all of the different projects and roadmaps that you're welcome to check out or reach out to me. And then living in demand, actually executing upon the work, doing the work, having your blocks, making sure you're doing your content or your creation, right? Cultivating some of the deeper work and some of the deeper projects. Really, really important. And then just making sure that you are actually building the demand within your audience, right? Through waitlist and through running these conversion content campaigns. That's how I've done it. And it's worked really well at this point to where we basically have all inbound. A client of mine, Chris, he's doing a mix of inbound and outbound, a few thousand people in his Facebook group. He just hit his second month this year, and we're in April and March. January and March, he hit 17 clients. I don't know what he's at February. I think maybe he was around 10 clients or so. So he's well over 40 clients already in Q1 of 2025. He's living this life and it's working for him. It can work for you too. I hope this gave you some good insights. If you have any questions, please drop them down below and let me know, or shoot me a message on Facebook or Instagram. And if you found this helpful and you want to get more videos like this, make sure to click subscribe. As always, remember, your message matters now more than it ever has before. Don't be afraid to speak it. Be seen, be heard, and be impactful.